So I gave that information to the Historical Society of Maine and said, good luck. It took them 3 years, but I got a call about 2 months ago from the president of the Maine Historical Society saying that the Met finally gave them a copy of that photo, which is now hanging in the museum, so that was kind of cool. And the other one is an arrowhead. My family owns a camp on Sebec Lake, and ever since I started writing these books, my 8-year-old niece and I go on treasure hunts. They're really adventure hikes, but we call them treasure hunts now. And last year they were digging up the side of the road, make it bigger, better drainage, that sort of thing. And we were walking along, and my niece said, "Auntie Pat," she said, I see a white shiny stone." I said, "Go get it." She went over, picked it up, put it in a little pail. We just kept on walking, collecting stones and rocks and all sorts of things. When we got this home, we took it out and started cleaning it, and I noticed that this wasn't an awfully sharp machine. Looked like somebody had honed it into an arrow shape. It's kind of odd. It had a little flute on the bottom, and it was like, this is really odd. So I asked her if I could borrow it for a couple days. And I brought it up to the University of Maine. I have some friends up there, and it's an 800-year-old arrowhead that she found.
Oh, wow.
So I broke that story in Lost Treasure, and my niece lives in Massachusetts, and she's a big hit in her class now because she's an 800-year-old arrowhead, and it was written about her. And she's very, very proud of that, and it's hers to keep forever now. So those are the two actual treasures that I have found in all this time. The other thing that I get is what is the writing process like? I get that questioned a lot, and it's very simple. You get an idea, you do a little research, write a draft, do a little editing, you rewrite it, you send it to the publishers, and you get rejected. All the time, constantly. You try again. Again, it's the whole never give up on your dreams. You try it again and again. I've been rejected, and I know everybody hears the story with writers. It's absolutely true. We get rejected a lot. Writing is something you usually have to do, though. It's something that I have to do. It's not something that we choose to do. It's not the most exciting life, I guess, but it's something that we have to do. It's kind of like not using your arm and leg if you don't write. It's part of who you are. It's not what you are. I've had a lot of careers in my life, but I've always been a writer all through the whole thing. So I am a writer versus anything else. And I think it's how people say, how do you deal with that? And I think it's how you learn to deal with rejection that will decide and drive you to continue in whatever field you go in, because you're going to be rejected or criticized in whatever you choose to do. And how you deal with that and what you do to make that better can either help you succeed in your field or will help you move on. As Isaac Asimov said so well before, never give up. This is my email and my website. Also, I have postcards up here of all 3 books that you can come up and take those postcards. They have my email, website in the back. Feel free. I also have books. Feel free to come up and touch the books. That's what books are for. And look them over. And I do have some to sell if you guys want some at the end of the presentation. So that's my little talk about me in general and my books. And I'm going to do some talk on Maine waterfalls. So hopefully you can see. If not, I'll go through them. Can everybody see it? I don't know if I push it back too far. I don't want to. Everything okay? You guys okay? Because I'm going to see it. Yeah? Okay. Maine waterfalls. It's a wet and wild history that we have here, and that's kind of where we go with this. Okay, whoops. All right, hold on just a second, guys. Technological difficulty.
Technology is wonderful.
No, we're going to get this straight right now. It's going to work, trust me. Ta-da! Okay. All right, so what are waterfalls? So I need to explain. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that helps. That'd be great. Does that help? Yeah, better? Okay. So my definition of waterfalls is it's any swirling vortex of water hydraulics can be considered a waterfall in my book. As far as I'm concerned, that's a waterfall. And I found over 840 fast water phenomena, rapids in Maine. 840. And we only get one mention in any waterfall book in New England, Moxie Falls. The publishers felt that would be too large a book. So they said, no, we're not putting 840 waterfalls in your book pack. They said, cut it down. So I cut it down to 177. And I found them in all 16 counties in Maine, so no one's left out. And each site in the book has at least 1 3 rating, with 3 is the best. Either in accessibility, photographic quality, or historical significance. That's how I came to the number of 177. I cut it down from 840. And each of those 177 have at least 1 3, and they cover all 16 counties in Maine. Lewiston Falls, recognize it? No, because it's absolutely gorgeous here today. I came by and I was like, oh man, look at those falls. They're dry when I came down. I can't guarantee when the falls are not, when they're running or not running. We control them very closely now. Luckily, when I went down with Bill Green, Rumford was running. Sometimes it's not. Lewiston Falls are gorgeous. And what I'm going, and if you had a chance to go by them today, they're absolutely beautiful, by the way. But I happened to come down at a time when they were dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a little bit from the book about Lewiston Falls, because I'm assuming that you probably are mostly interested in what's happened at Lewiston. Am I right? Or you want to go on? What do you feel like? Yeah? I'm going to read. These were once awesome and incredible falls located on the Androscoggin River between Lewiston and Auburn. This was considered one of the greatest natural water powers ever discovered in Maine. It was 38 feet. It was a 38-foot natural cascade fall, and the third set of falls on this river. According to folklore, these falls were named because a Native American logger named Lewis lived here. However, a darker story is that Lewis fell into these falls drunk and drowned. When the Native Americans inhabited this area, the entire river was named for each of the 7 sections that were separated by 7 different major falls. The whole river region was called Androscoggin, which meant fish country in the springtime, or place of fish spearing. The Native Americans' name for this particular fall was Amagattapontuk. I have a hard time with their words. And that means he fishes. When the first Europeans came here, they believed this river was the most powerful in the world. They hadn't been out west yet, so they hadn't seen our western rivers, but they just could not believe the power of this river when they first came. The Androscoggin was allowed, when the Androscoggin was allowed to flow without any restrictions, the river dropped 1,500 feet and flowed for 165 miles. The river was not navigable at that time due to the numerous waterfalls here, except by birch bark canoe, which was created by our Native Americans in Maine. They actually created a birch bark canoe, which was the only way to run our rivers. And we're going to talk a lot about what happens when we don't run them in birch bark canoes. A lot of bad things happen. The dams have calmed this river, and it's much different than it was back in that day, but it must have been an incredible sight. In 1624, there was a Native American site living here. It's in the diaries of the settlers that there was somebody here. But by 1724, when the first Europeans came here to settle, there was no more Native American tribe here. They either all died out or they moved on. It said that the very last Atlantic salmon was here in 1860. Atlantic salmon used to run all the way up here. They don't anymore. The colonial history tells us that there was a lot of caves and caverns underneath these falls. And the falls are usually dry. They don't happen to be today, but basically they're dry most of the time because of the dams that we have upriver. Pegmatite is found in these falls. What pegmatite is, wherever there's pegmatite, usually means that it's a mineral, a gem mineral forming rock. So there are probably quite a few different minerals, gem quality that can be found under these falls, and quartz is one. There's also been stated that they found silver and gold in pieces here, in placer forms. They found nuggets of gold and silver, the first Europeans that came here, which is kind of cool. Now, there's legends state that something terrible happened at these falls, and it's kind of hard to get the right story, but I'll give you the gist of it. There was a family named Ware that lived here, and either the Native Americans kidnapped one of their family, or one of their family kidnapped a Native American maiden. It doesn't know which way it goes. But somehow a woman was involved in this whole thing. And the males, the brother, father, son, and it varies in the stories, was really upset about this woman being disappeared. So the story goes that the two parties met at these falls, and there was no way they were going to let this person go with the other side. And one story is that they made a run for it and went over the falls and all died. Another story is that the woman was pushed into the falls because if they could have her, no one was going to have her, and she died. Whatever happened, something bad happened, and it caused the Native American tribe living here to put a curse on the Androscoggin that every year 3 white males would die in this river, and it seems to be holding. It has happened. There has been women that have been drowned here, but men seem to die more drown in the Androscoggin than anyone else. So you can take that with a grain of salt. But the Lewiston Falls were incredible and really intense when we first got here. I'm going to talk about 2 falls up in the county. One is the Allagash Falls. These are haunted waterfalls found in the Allagash River. An old Native American man's face appears in the rocks beneath the falls. I don't have a picture of it because I couldn't get it. So that's why there's no pictures of that. Also, a Native American woman is said to have jumped from the top of the falls. She's said to appear to those who venture too close and protect them from jumping over. On the Aroostook River in the Aroostook Falls, the largest log jam in Maine's history occurred on this river at the Aroostook Falls in May 1880. In some places, logs were reported as being 200 feet thick. Actually, the logs ended up going up the river backward because they were so jammed, and it took till November for them to finally, this happened in May, November for the jam to finally break. Smalls Falls. As you can tell, it's small. Smalls Falls is part of the Katahdin deposit. What that means is that every single mineral, metallic mineral found in Maine can be found at this site. It's absolutely a mineralogical person's dream and well worth the trip to go up, especially if you're into anything you can find in Maine. Any type of mineral can be found in this area. Smalls Falls is located on the Sandy River in Township E. So it's a little hard to find, but definitely worth the trip up. Frenchman Bay Tidal Falls. This is found in Frenchman's Bay on the coast. The coast also has waterfalls. They're called reversing falls. What that means is that when the tide goes in, they flow one way. When the tide goes out, they flow another way. So every 12 hours, the falls change. And this is a nice little park there that people can go and have picnics and just kind of hang out at the coast on Frenchman Bay. And it's really nice down there. So I recommend that. This is Benton Falls. I show this. This is on the Sebasticook River in Benton. I show this because it's kind of makes me smile. When I happened to go to the falls to take pictures of the stay, the person that tends the falls and the dam let me go up to the top. And this is the top of the fish ladder to allow the fish to continue upriver. I just want you to see how small that is. And I really need to tell you that the fish probably don't really realize it's there for them. It's very small. And we'll talk more about fish ladders and how that impacts what we do. This is Hemingway Falls. This is on the Megunticook River in Camden, right downtown Camden. I'm not talking about the man-made falls behind the library. I'm talking about the real falls in the center of town. They're twin cascade falls, absolutely gorgeous, not dammed up, absolutely beautiful. And people say when's the best time to go waterfall hunting as far as photographs? The spring is best because the waterfall is the highest, but fall is absolutely gorgeous. It really is. So I don't have a favorite time. I just love the fall colors, so I say go in the fall. We also have more haunted fall sites, of course. I talk a lot about haunted treasure, right? So haunted fall sites. The Edis Falls are on the Crooked River. It said there was a duel fought here over a woman. You know, there's a theme happening with these haunted fall sites. The ghost is said to still be haunting the fishermen who come here to fish. And it's also reported that he used to haunt the mill that was there. He'd turn equipment on. People would come in, and they'd hear him and see him. He's from the Revolutionary War period. Seems to be a really nice guy, though. Doesn't hurt anybody. And on the Ellis River, there's Ellis Falls, and 2 Americans competed to be with a maiden. Same thing. The loser of the contest stole the woman and forced her to jump with him over the falls. They were both killed here. Said that their ghosts still are haunting here. There is one, I hear this a lot, that people have heard that there are diamonds to be found in Maine. I'm here to tell you there is no diamonds exist in Maine. We don't have any diamonds. Sorry, it's true. It's not there. However, there are something called the Ellis diamonds, and they're found here. What they really are is quartz. So we don't have diamonds in Maine. Here's Rumford Falls. This is where I was with Bill Green. thankfully they were running at the time. Rumford Falls is a tidal fall. Sometimes it flows backwards.